Alright, I'm gonna just let y'all know at the start of this video that I do not hate the LGBT community or the trans community, nor do I want to like send hate to them with this video. I just want to point out the fucking kind of stupidity behind this whole thing that was kind of happening. It's been blowing up, and also I'm not even with the super straights, nor do I agree with them. I think they're fucking pretty cringy, pretty cheeks. I don't know. I just thought they were pretty. I just thought they were pretty cringy what they were doing and what people were doing, making TikToks and shit like that. But right now, I'm just gonna be focusing on the fucking TikToks that are focusing on if you don't want to date a trans person, then you know you're transphobic. So I kind of want to talk about that situation, but I'll probably talk about later on super straights. So yeah, let's get on with this.
I can understand how the LGBTQ community, based in loving who you want to love without judgment, sitting here and hating on straight people.
So this person is talking about the super straight thing, which is something that straight people have made up to describe themselves if they don't like having relations with trans people. And I'm here to tell you why that's wrong. First off, the reason that we're so pissed off about this trend is because it's definitely to make fun of us.
Now, I don't think this person's wrong, because I do believe some people, kind of specific people, kind of in the super straights, are kind of making fun of them. Not with them being trans or gay or whatever, but it's definitely, I've seen TikToks of people saying I'm coming out, you know, and it's, when you hear that, you usually think they're gonna come out, you know, as, you know, whatever, gay or whatever, you know. But I mean, when they say it and it's for jokes, it's like, oh, I'm coming out super straight, which is kind of like he kind of has a point on that, so I'll give him that. But for, like I said, I'm not even with them, but I do understand the whole point of why they made it, and I feel like the majority of people can agree with me that are in super straights. Like I said, I'm not with them, but it was definitely to play you guys at your own game. So you know, when people are saying that shit, you know, that's not a real sexuality, they be coming back with, or the super straights came back with, well, how are you saying that's not a sexuality? Are you transphobic? So I can see what I'm talking about. Like, so you can see how they were just trying to beat you at your own game, basically. So it definitely wasn't to make fun of you. So yeah.
It's not to be a legitimate thing. The reason that they're saying super straight and making it like a flag and all that stuff is to make us upset. Now on to the legitimacy of that attraction thing. What is the thing that identifies a trans woman over a regular woman? Name something. And it can't have anything to do with birthing a child. You can't tell me that people are unattracted to people who are not fertile because you can't tell. The only reason people aren't attracted to trans people is because they think they look a certain way. And they don't. They look like women.
No, I don't think he's wrong also on that part. Like, if you look on whatever you go on, some trans women, they be looking like genuine women, bro. Like they be looking like fucking models out here, bro. Better than the actual real women, bro. Like they be fucking, I don't know, they just be beating women at their own game, bro. It's crazy. But what he's talking about dating, now I understand when people don't want to date someone, because that's literally at the end of the day their preference. Now for me, bro, I mean, like, if they got no meat, bro, if they got no meat and I actually genuinely like the person, then like, I say fuck it, you know what I'm saying? I say fuck it, why not? But for the most part, nah, I'm not with it, bro. Like, I don't really, and with the child problem, to be honest, like, it's weird, because like, I would, not now, of course not now, maybe even 10 years in the future, but eventually I would like to have children that are mine. So like, yeah, that's also a big problem too. So yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta kind of disagree when people are saying like you're transphobic, because that's really not the case. At the end of the day, it's preference, and like, for me, I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you. Like I said, I genuinely gotta like the person and like know them. And you know what? If they ain't got no meat, fuck it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck not, right? Let's move on with the other TikToks.
If a trans person
does not disclose their identity to somebody who would not have consented, knowing that they were trans, it is comparable to me dosing a woman with something who would not have consented to sex with me had I not give her something to influence her decision. Rape and sexual assault is rape and sexual assault no matter how the fuck you do it.
Who the hell let this guy back on TikTok? I thought we had already dealt with him. I've seen a lot of really disgusting videos on TikTok. That has to be probably the number one. Let's think for a second. Let's use some empathy and compassion. Why do you think some trans people might not want to disclose the fact that they're trans? Maybe it's because cis men are killing and murdering them for being trans.
No, I'm not even gonna go on to this topic when she's saying cis men are murdering them, trans people, because like I don't even know the fucking statistics myself. Holy shit. I don't even know the fucking results myself. I don't know anything. I don't know any fucking data. You know how frequent this fucking happens. But I want to assume. I want to put faith in humanity. And also I would like to believe that most people are not weird and they're normal and they actually have fucking general logic and what's right and what's wrong. So I think if you're a trans woman or a man and you're hooking up with a girl or boy now and they think you're real, like a real woman or man, and you're gonna do the sexual deed, it's better if you tell them. Like, you probably should have told them before the sexual deed, but if you want to, right after or before, right just before the sexual deed, you should tell them that you're trans. Like, it's I don't know why you shouldn't. Like, you should, because at the end of the day, if I don't know, let's say after, and you tell them, they're and they probably would have said no, like before, they'll probably get so pissed. It'll probably be way worse if you don't tell them. So it's logically better if you tell the person before anything happens, so they won't get that upset and stuff like that. And like, fuck it, if they accept you, or if they accept it, they're like, it's whatever, bro. Like, you got the body parts I like. You know what I'm saying? And if you do, and stuff like that, then fuck it, bro. And they say, what, fuck it, I'll accept it. Then fuck it, man. You're lucky. But I would assume that most people are not this way because also preference, and they probably wouldn't fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? So they probably say no. But they'll probably be like, I mean, we could always hang out, or just be like, I'm sorry, I'm just not with it, like, you might have to dip or something, you know what I'm saying, like, or I'm gonna have to dip or something, like, I'm not comfortable. So like, you gotta understand, I feel like normal people would logically look at this situation and not harm them, you know what I'm saying, and if you do it after, and you're like after, they'll probably be way more upset because they'll probably be like, yeah, like, I did not want to fucking do this. If you told me before, I would have never done this. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like for those trans people out there, like, yeah, it's better to tell them before the sexual deed. But I understand why they're scared. They have a right to be scared. Like, I mean, what do you mean? Like, it is true too. Like, even if I don't have the facts or the statistics, holy shit, man, I'm ass speaking English, but I'm sure that it's kind of like a little bit high, for the kill rates, just because they're trans. So yeah, I do understand that, but I'm pretty sure most logical and normal people would just say, no, I'm not with that, and move on with their life. You know what I'm saying? So let's listen to what this chick has to say.
You want to compare that to drugging someone and raping them while they're unconscious. Every time I think I have a little bit of faith in humanity, people like that come along and I have to start from scratch.
Now, I kind of gotta disagree with her on that, saying that, or I don't know, because she didn't really word it, but I'm just gonna assume that she does not think it's rape. Now, I wouldn't label it, or I wouldn't compare it to, like, if someone drugs someone while they're unconscious and then, they did the, fucking shit, right? But it is kind of in the same sense of that's kind of rape, because I promise you, man, if that person heard that you were trans and they were not fucking with it, you know, like, cause they thought you were, what they thought you were, you know what I'm saying? They thought you were the gender that they liked. After you just told them that, you were born a gender and then turn it to the different gender that they liked, and they assumed that you were real, or the gender that, they thought they liked, that's kind of fucked up. They're just probably uncomfortable or unnatural, and that just surprised them, and they're like, fuck, dude, like, what the fuck, man? Why didn't you tell me? And they probably would have said no, instead of saying yes, because they thought you were the real deal. Now, see, like, I wouldn't consider that. It's like not on the same level, but yeah, I think technically that's kind of rape, because I promise you the answer would have been different if they have heard or known that you were not what you seemed, So yeah, let's go on with this other fucking TikTok.
I don't even know what the fuck that's supposed to mean, because I have a feeling that anyone who says something like this is a fucking virgin. Like, I'm straight. Just straight, don't know what the super part means. I fuck, too. Like, my body count's way higher than yours ever will be, so.
Now, I gotta agree with this guy on half his points. He was saying how shit, super straight was cringy. And I gotta agree with him, but I did understand the premise of the super straight, and kind of like, why was it made. But at the end of the day, you can't kind of argue against cringe, because it was pretty cringy. And some of the people that made the TikToks were pretty cringy. And specific types, I wouldn't say most of the super straight, just specific type of people in the super straights were actually transphobic. And some of them were kind of making fun of people that came out, and they just said they came out super straight, which was pretty stupid and dumb. And yeah, it was kind of a mockery at that point. But for the majority, most people didn't do that were in the super straights, so yeah. But I mean, this other guy's points, basically, like more than half his point is just basically saying how much fucking bodies he got. You know what I'm saying? Like hey, I have way too much sex, man. That it is crazy, man. I got way more bodies than you. Hey, man, that's pretty crazy, bro. You want a cookie or something? You want an award? Like, I kind of hate when people use, like, their sexual activities in an argument. Like, that's supposed to make them better, or that's supposed to make their point better, when it's really not. And most people think they're pretty stupid for using, their sexual activities in an argument. It's pretty dumb, and nobody really cares how much bodies you have under your belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody give a fuck, and I hope that I teach you a lesson, and now, how much sex you have in your life does not mean your point is better. That just means you're way more cringy, and you come out as a stupid person at the end of it. So, yeah, let's go on with this other TikTok video.
Have you guys noticed it's always the ugliest guys who have the most to say? Trust me, I don't gotta force anyone to date me. The real problem here is you thinking I would even look in your direction. You want kids? Well, guess what? Over 13% of naturally born females can't have kids. Don't flatter yourself though, nobody wants your kids. All I see is an insecure little boy with the follow back button.
Okay, so basically this whole video was just nothing. I just wanted to show this just to show how butthurt and how insecure this trans person is. Like, just because a guy wants kids in the future someday. She just responded saying no trans person will ever look your way, but yeah, you responded to him, which is kind of ironic. So yeah, you looked at his way. So I mean, you can't really say that a trans person will never look his way. Yeah, you did, which is kind of funny. Basically her only point was just saying 13% of overall women in the world cannot have children. I guess, like, don't get me wrong, that's a lot of women, but overall, like, that's not a lot of women if we're talking about all of women. So I guess cool point. I don't know, like, good for you, I guess. Let's move on with the last video of the subject.
I think that not dating a woman specifically because she's trans is a level of transphobia. I'm not transphobic, I'm just super straight. Not only is that statement transphobic, but it's really stupid. How is that transphobic? You said that by not dating trans women, you're super straight, meaning that you think that men that date trans women are less straight, meaning that trans women are men and therefore not real women.
I think I need to say this honestly, because this guy at the start, he was saying a level of transphobic, which is way better, but I still disagree. But for most people throughout these whole TikToks talking about transphobic, if you don't want to date a trans person, they're using it as like if there's like the person absolutely hates trans people, which literally for most of the case with the super straight, that's not the case. Like the only reason why they made it, was to play you at your own game. Now, the second part is majority of super straights actually, or I hope anyways, because I mean, for those, I've only seen a little bit of hate and stupidity coming from super straights from specific people, but for majority, I think, and they all agree that they don't care what you are, like they can probably be friends, or they probably do have friends of trans people, and they don't really hate. It's just they wouldn't want to date one, and I don't really know how that's transphobic. Like transphobic should literally, it's kind of the literal meaning of racist, but it's just you're just racist, like, or transphobic to like trans people, instead of a person of color. Now, what I'm saying is, like, if you're really truly transphobic, that means you would not want to be around with trans people, and if you ever see one, you would literally dog on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just do not fuck with them. But most people, I can tell you, they literally do not care at all what you are. They just wouldn't want to date one. So I mean, I don't really know. Like, so I mean, props to this guy for actually kind of saying something that was logical, like a level of transphobic, when all these other people are saying that's transphobic, when it's literally kind of not true. And I still don't think it's a level of transphobic, at the end of the day too. So yeah, let's listen to what this guy has to say.
Which is not only transphobic, but scientifically inaccurate. It's not transphobia, it's my preference. I'm just super straight. That's not a preference. If a white woman says she prefers white guys, that means she dates white guys more often, but black guys aren't off the table. Versus I won't date you because you're black, which means she thinks that there's something inherently wrong with black people, even if she doesn't consciously think so.
I'm also gonna have to bring out this point, I'm pretty sure, because, I think he's literally the first person that kind of pointed out this. So I think I need to pull out this fact too. It's very interesting that most of the trans community actually don't even like to, no, majority, I'm pretty sure if not all, do not like to date within their own community. They actually like to date, like if you're a trans woman, they would like to date a straight man. So that's kind of crazy how that works. It's kind of funny how you're defending community that don't even like to date within their own community, which is pretty funny. But I can see the point where he was saying where a white person, she prefers white guys, but black guys are never off the table. I mean, like, at the end of the day, dude, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, for me, like I said again at the beginning, I would consider dating a trans person. If I actually knew her and I genuinely liked her and she had no meat, I would consider it. I'll be like, maybe. But for other people, I can see why they still wouldn't date a trans woman. It's just literally preference. It's low-key awkward, like, because at the end of the day, they were a man. Like, biologically, when they were born, they were a man. And for some people, it's just uncomfortable, and I understand them, what I'm saying? Like, you gotta understand the other side, too. Like, it's just uncomfortable, weird. And like I said, they don't hate them at all. Like they would be chill with them. It's just I don't think it's for some people, man. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I'm not even guaranteed out of day one, but I'm saying I consider it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean I don't. It just comes down to preference, dude. Like you can say it's a level of transphobic all you want, but at the end of the day, it's really not. And I think you're really wrong on that part. So let's listen to what this guy has to say.
The exact same thing applies to what you're saying. Also, I think it's really funny you think you're super straight. You like women, but you're excluding an entire group of women. If a plumber only works on shower drains and refuses to work on sinks, we don't call him a super plumber. If anything, you're semi-straight or straight impaired. Huh. Maybe I should re-examine my prejudice.
Okay, as if you already couldn't tell, that's where the video ends, or the TikTok. Now, like I said, it's just, it all comes down to preference on, and I'm gonna go to the part where you said, like, you know, it's funny how you're saying you're super straight, but you wouldn't want to date a group of women. Now, this is kind of tough, cause like at the end of the day, they were born a man, and even if they cut off the meat, it's still weird to not get that off their head that they were originally a man. And it's like, I don't know why you're saying that. Like I said, it's a level of pride. Like, it's, you know, the person, you know, in a relationship, what comes down to is also what's really important. It's also comes down to sexual attraction. And if the sexual attraction is not there, then what? It's tough having a relationship like that, dude. Like, you gotta understand. And if the person's not sexually attracted to, you know, that, you know, there can't be a relationship, dude. Like, I don't know what you're getting at, you know. So yeah, I mean, that's really all I gotta say. I mean, this guy had some. I think he was literally the only person on TikTok that I found that actually had decent points. Um, it's weird because, like I said, I think he's completely wrong, but wrong and like with his points, all of his points. But he was actually the only one that actually had some decent points, unlike these other people. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think I made all my points clear, and yeah, I'll see you all later.